Today, I would like to discuss Greek democracy and the economic situation in Greece. I will start with the economic situation. It's a tragedy what is happening in Greece. Cannot pay off their debts. As a result, they need to be bailed out. The austerity measures, the daily protests, and just no faith in politics or the future, or hope for the future at all. Now, I'm not an economist, and I do not see anything. The numbers, the red and green arrows and the numbers on the evening news mean nothing to me. The stock market means absolutely nothing to me. So I'm not an economist, I'm not a stockbroker or a trader, so I can't tell you what caused the problem. But I'm going to throw my 2 cents in on what might have been the cause. My personal opinion. And I will also tell you my possible solution for the problem. The reason why there is so much debt in Greece and why the Greek people cannot, or the Greek government rather, cannot pay off their debts. Have they been borrowing too much money? Have they been overspending? As many libertarians would say. Not necessarily. That is not my belief. I'm a progressive, left-leaning, if you might not have already guessed. And that's not my personal belief of what caused the crisis. It was caused by corruption and mismanagement. Now, libertarians would say because the government mismanaged the economy, they should just let the markets and the private sector manage everything. Despite what happened in Greece, I cannot be inclined to believe libertarians and teabaggers on that. I believe the Greek people elected incompetent people. People who did not care for the well-being of the people. Politicians that did not care for the well-being of the people. And politicians who don't know how to run the country. And they've been electing them for years and years and years, since the return of democracy in Greece in 1974. 2 main parties have been negligent and corrupt. The Socialists and the right-wing New Democracy Party. The cause of Greece's troubles now is 2 things: mismanagement and corruption. The Greek people cannot pay off the debts, and the Greek government cannot pay off the debts because there is just no revenue coming in. They borrowed money, and then that money did not go into projects to help grow the economy. Instead, it went into the pockets of various middlemen. Money that was supposed to be used to build a road, for example, disappeared and went into the pockets of some people. Corruption. And people get by certain rules and so on through bribes, etc., etc. It's rampant corruption, just like my country, Indonesia, is suffering. Corruption was one of the root causes. Money disappears in the pockets of politicians, businessmen, and bureaucrats, and it does not return. It does not help the economy grow, so then the government can receive revenue from a growing economy. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion, corruption. Secondly, mismanagement. Maybe instead of funding for, let's say, research on alternative energies, for example, instead of money going into there, they put money into building a pretty much useless castle or an estate or a mansion for a rich person. Money that could have gone into something more productive went into money that was wasted on some pet project. And of course, places where money could have been, where people could have received revenue, they did not like. For example, in the subway, people can actually get through without a ticket. Can actually walk right into a subway and not have to pay for a ticket and go through the bar, go through a gate of sorts. So, mismanagement. Now call me a dreamer, but I still believe the Greek people can elect the proper politicians, the right people, to manage the economy and to manage the economy properly, instead of these corrupt, out of touch and incompetent politicians you have now. The Greeks have now. By the way, I wear the Greek flag lapel pin because it's the birthplace of democracy. I love democracy, it's near and dear to my heart. And the Greek people deserve better than what they are getting now. Now that's all hindsight of what caused the problems. As you know, the Greek government has so far received 2 bailouts from the IMF. The IMF give them massive loads of money to rescue package money, the International Monetary Fund. In return, they must do radical austerity measures. And that way, that will save the economy, that will save their country from default. But so far, 2 bailouts. Has the Greek economy improved? The news isn't saying so. Are things getting better in Greece? I don't believe they are. So is bailouts an austerity measure, everything to prop up the economy, all these last-ditch efforts to save Greece from collapse? Is it really working? All those rounds of austerity measures and 2 bailouts, is it working? You be the judge. Now, excuse me while I gather my thoughts. My solution is... Oh, by the way, before I discuss my solution, I must also point out that the reason why Greece is so important right now is because they're part of the euro. They should have never joined the euro because basically they had what Nicolas Sarkozy said, the French president said, was a bad spreadsheet. That there were just numbers that didn't add up, so they should have never joined the euro in the first place. But now that they are in the euro, that's why everyone is so worried that Greece will collapse. Greece's economy will collapse, bringing down the entire eurozone with it. That's basically why other countries are concerned about Greece. But the truth is, the Greek people shouldn't care about what other countries want from them. Here's my solution, what I'm saying. If these 2 bailouts did not save the Greek economy by now, you might as well default. You might as well go back to the drachma, the old currency. Might as well collapse, have massive unemployment, and start from scratch. You have the resources. Tourism, workforce, the economy will recover. But don't try to prop up something that proves unsustainable. Start from scratch. Start afresh. Start from the beginning, and build a more sustainable economy for the future. Just knock down what you have now and start anew. Sounds radical, sounds outrageous because of how many people will lose their jobs. But if these two bailouts didn't work, again, I must emphasize, why prop up a system that is failing? Or no matter what you do, it just fails. Now I want to discuss the Greek political electoral system and the fact that they're the birthplace of democracy, but I'll do that in my next video. Because I think instead of 2 cents in, I threw in an entire dime, or a quarter for that matter, on my opinions. So, I'll see you in my next video.